Another edition of Sit Down at Uptown, man. A Sit Down at Uptown, well, you know, we chop it up with these comedians, man, who come to Uptown, Comedy Corner, and rock the house. And tonight, man, we got a special guest. We got, you know, some of them don't really want to be called legends and OGs, man, but if it fits, it just fits.
Gotta lean into that.
Gotta lean into that, man. And this is an OG, man. This is that man, Rodney Perry. What's good, brother?
Very kind, sir. Thank you for that, man. Because I remember coming here when I wasn't that guy. You know, I mean, I can remember being on Uptown stage when Jamie Foxx came in the room and they took me off the stage, took me to the Civic Center, and I got to be a part of Lollapalooza. You know, first stage I was on after I had my stroke was this stage. And so I never forget, and I always come to this stage as long as you're happy.
That's what's up, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you, bro.
He's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Rodney, man, I always like to do these interviews where I like to go backwards.
Mm-hmm. Take it back.
We like to
Take it back, Mr. Angelo.
Let's take a trip. Let's take a trip back. You can win reverse. So, Rodney, man, tell us about where you're originally from and what was life growing up as a child.
Okay. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I paid myself as a prodigal single parent, but I had a father. You know, my biological father. I was an outside kid. You know, black folks know what that is. You know, my mother became in love with my father, who was her friend's father. And I'm a product of that relationship. So I was a forbidden love. And so I start off that way. So my mother was fair-skinned. So I don't even know my connection to comedy and to the other part of who I am. I don't know my father's family till much later in life. And so that's where the comedy comes from, though, genetically, from my father's side. And grew up on the south side, 126th and State, roles in Little League. We played Little League baseball. People like Carl Seaton, who is now a director on Snowfall. People like B. Cole, who is a nationally touring comedian. And we was all in the same incubator just playing Little League baseball. And Chicago, this thing about Chicago, everybody funny in Chicago. Your mama funny, your granddaddy funny, your uncle funny. And so you might get roasted by anybody coming up. You know, like my cousin would roast me because I had stinky feet. But them niggas peed in the bed. I'm like, nigga, you pee in the bed, nigga, stop. Yes, my feet is fire. Right. But you peed in the bed last night. Right. Yeah. Both of y'all take turns peeing on each other. But you know, that was the emphasis of it. And I find comedy fairly young because my mother and my stepfather would have people over the house and they would listen to records. Mm-hmm. They party, they kick it. They would listen to Miles Mabley and Richard Pryor and you know, Red Fox. They would listen to those records. And so I had access to that stuff and I would listen to it. I was like, yo, how is it that this person on this record is making this room, captivating this room? It was just amazing to me. And then I saw Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live, and that made it real. Yeah.
Well, wow.
Yeah.
So, as a child, what kind of student were you in school, like from elementary on? What kind of student were you?
That's a great question. I was a smart kid, but at the same time, I had a teacher in second grade that would let me tell jokes at the end of the day if I shut up.
Really?
Yeah, I was talking, and so Mr. Thompson said, if you shut your little stupid ass up, we'll let you tell jokes. I don't know how he had the wherewithal to put that together, but he did, and I did. I was doing impressions, Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
A little 7-year-old. Hey, wait a minute, Howard, it's me, Muhammad. I'm the greatest of all time. You know, and that was my comedy set.
Really?
You know, back in the day.
Wow, that's crazy.
And but yeah, that's the beginning though. That's the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's you. I'm not even looking at it as a profession yet.
Sure.
Many years later before that happens, but yeah. Young Rodney Perry. But I tell people all the time, I wasn't the funniest.
Okay.
It was people like Jeffrey Lightning that was funnier than me. It was people like Brian Ross that was funny to me. You know, that I grew up with that was right there, my boys, but they would never do it in front of people.
Gotcha.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Like the thing that call you to the stage is another thing. Like it's tons of funny people.
Sure.
You know, and like I tell comics when they talk about social media guys, I'm like, look, at some point everybody funny. So what are you giving to the game beyond that? What else are you giving us? And I think this is also a career of service. You know, you owe the game something.
Wow, that's good stuff there, man.
Yeah.
So, as you started matriculating through school, what kind of activities were you into? Into the sports, going into high school, things of that nature?
I was an athlete. You know, I wasn't. You know, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, so it was easy to have become a gangbanger.
Okay.
But, you know, because of house music and me being a party kid, I really didn't get into the gang bang world. But you would kind of be a gang member by default based on your neighborhood, where you lived. You know, I lived on 126th State. That's 12-6. You know, you grew up on 12-6. Nigga, if we fight, you fight. You don't get caught running.
Don't get caught running.
Nigga, you had to motherfucker do it out with us. And so, you know, I was blessed enough to have a mother that my mother would come. My mother would go. I said, Mama, they hit me up yesterday. They want me to join the gang. She said, boy, what type of stupid are you? She walked to school with me, and she said, y'all don't want this nigga. This nigga is not no gang member. This nigga is not no gang member. I'm telling you. I'm pretty sure this nigga is horrible. And
Pretty sure he's horrible.
and but she was fearless.
Okay.
And she said, also y'all niggas gotta fight me too. And so that's the type of woman. She's the little tiny woman. She's gone now, but yeah, she's the person that kept me out of the big trouble.
Okay.
You know, so did I play sports? Not organized till I get to high school.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to play little league. You know, I played baseball because baseball was in our neighborhood, but I didn't start playing football till I got into high school, and I went to Carver High School, where we had a couple of famous guys come through there. I can't think of the name right now off the head because I'm on that narcotic, I think. Anyway,
so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You said you weren't technically from a single parent home. But you live with your mother primarily. Any
Yes.
siblings, by the way?
I'm the oldest of 5.
Oldest of 5.
I'm number 1.
So how many boys?
4 of us, 4 boys and a girl.
Really?
And my family is the exact opposite. I have 5 girls and a boy.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I have 5 girls and a boy.
So your mom, all of y'all were raised in that one household?
Yes.
So
Yes.
So you say you started a gang. Now, how challenging is that, especially in that time, for especially for you and your brother? Were all of y'all able to stay straight away from it?
I'm 10 plus to my next sibling.
Okay.
So my sister is 6 years junior to me. So I'm sure I'm so far ahead of them. I had kind of dealt with that on my own.
Okay.
You know, and I have my cousins and them who we were around the same age, and but that was a whole nother gang on their side of town. When I would go with them, there was all as well. That was the brothers,
Right.
And in Chicago, there was Gangsta Disciples, on 126th State. So again, you was kind of loosely affiliated with the gang by virtue of geography,
Right.
but you wasn't really no member. I was never jumped in.
Okay.
I was never, I didn't live that life.
Okay.
And again, house music kept me out of trouble. You don't really want nigga gangbang with no socks on. Hey, bro, what the fuck? What you got on, nigga? Go to the party, nigga.
So tell your journey after high school. Where'd you go?
So, well, let's give you just a little bit before that.
Okay.
So, my mother, who was with my stepfather, who was the father of 3 of my siblings,
Okay.
we leave him.
Okay.
And so my mother catches me. My father had been abusive. My stepfather had been abusive. And he beat my mother mercilessly one night. And I made up my mind that I was going to kill him. I'm a young man. But he had tools in the garage, and I went and got a wrench, and I was going to bust him in his head while he laid there asleep. And my mother caught me. She said, "What you going to do with that?" I said, "I'm going to kill him." She said, no, you ain't. What if he catch you? What if he do something to you? And he was such a good provider that we would have never left. But my mother called me that night, and when I tell you, Angelo, we was gone 8 days later to Monroe, Louisiana, where I finished high school at.
Oh, wow.
And so we went to my mother's hometown where my grandfather lived, and he owned funeral homes, and we started over, you know. So I went from Chicago, the big city, to small town Monroe, Louisiana.
Okay.
And, you know, I finished high school, but so I get there like my junior year of high school, senior year, play organized football, and that was a culture shock.
Wow.
Culture shock. And so I'm with all these kids growing up from first grade, and all of a sudden I'm with people that I don't know at all, and I had to make friends, and I luckily
Different
I made some
slangs, everything,
and different, a whole different world.
Yeah.
And you know, we just had our 35th anniversary for Carroll High School, and high school anniversary. And I told them, I said, y'all took me in and y'all treated me like one of your own, and I'll never forget that.
I was gonna ask, how was that reception when you got down there? Like, how was so that?
I got my ass whooped.
Okay.
Oh no, I remember this nigga jumped me right. So with Carroll High School, there was a overpass that you had to walk across, and I walked across through these guys, and I was so arrogant that I'm like, I'm from Chicago. I see these niggas, but they ain't gonna beat me up. I'm from Chicago. Them niggas put all type of foots in my ass. Them niggas was out of, they kicked my ass, and I ran home, beat up, bloody, and I never did that again. Never walked through a group of niggas ever again.
Right.
But it was that was my welcome to town.
Okay.
You know, that was a way to check my arrogance. You know, but I also met some lifelong friends, football team, that helped me deal with that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. So my mama saw she had to get that change that
Yeah.
situation.
And
That's deep.
And who knows what happens if I don't leave Chicago at that juncture of my life.
Yeah.
You know, but I get to Monroe, finish high school, start having babies. My oldest daughter, who's 34 now, me and her mom meet. I'm a senior, beginning of senior year, she's a freshman. I saw her walk campus in them little white pants. I was on it, dog. I was on it. And up until recently, me and my daughter was talking. She was like, did you rape my mom? I was like, did I? He said, did I don't know. I ain't never thought about it because we was in high school together, but I was a young senior.
Okay.
So I was 17.
Yeah.
So I graduated at 17.
Okay.
So I was 17, not 18 yet. And so if I had been 18 and she had been 14, that's fucking rape in a lot of states.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, I don't think I raped your mama, but well, your mama really raped me though, because she was way more knowledgeable. You know, I was just shooting the club up.
Shooting the club up. Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
So you started having babies.
Yeah.
So I mean, so you started working. What were you doing?
I was working and I was going to college.
Okay.
Northeast Louisiana University.
Okay.
I'm working at a place called Shoetown. It's hot. One summer I'm walking to work. I work probably about 3.5 miles. And so I had to walk to work. I ain't had no car, nothing like that.
Okay.
And so I'm going to work, and a recruiter, Navy recruiter, he stopped and he picked me up. And, you know, I in my mind, I'm like, I think this nigga might be gay. But nigga, I got to get out of this goddamn heat. Hopefully I had to give him no ass for this ride. So I'm motherfucking on that ride. He pitched me to the Navy. Now I'd already considered the Navy while I was in high school. I took the ASVAB test.
Okay.
I took everything, and I had scored well. And so I took that ride with him. And before I got out that car, I was ready to go.
Wow.
So he pitched me the Navy on that ride. I go to MEPS, a military enrollment processing center, maybe 5 days later. Probably 7 days later, I'm in San Diego in boot camp.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that. And you know, I started my Navy career, man. I did 8 years in the Navy from 90 to 98.
Okay.
And the best 8 years in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I became a man. I learned how to, you know, take care of my family, how to take care of kids, how to, you know, I got married in that time. A lot of stuff happened around that time. And I was doing comedy.
Okay.
So I had already kind of found comedy, but I'm a part of the early wave of comedy, but I'm not. Like, I'm behind Def Jam. I'm behind Comic View. You know, when Sedna was getting famous, I was doing comedy, but I was a Rudy Poo. You know, and it wasn't no way around it back then. It wasn't no social media. It wasn't no way around the natural progression of things. And so, you know, I do my first tour in the Navy in New Orleans. So
you were able to stay close to the house?
I took orders in New Orleans. I go to New Orleans and I'm working for Admiral.
Okay.
In the United States Navy. And it was a good time, man. I mean, I was a young kid in New Orleans. I was college age, but I had money in the car.
All right.
You know, so I had Dillard University, Xavier, Suno. You know, we was all over. Let me tell you something. If you got a daughter that was in college, 1994, I fucked her twice.
He said not once, but twice.
Good time. Man, look.
Yeah, we hated GIs, man. I lived on a military base, but we couldn't stand y'all.
The haters coming in.
Y'all took the best girls, man.
Oh,
Because y'all had cars.
We had cars
and money.
If you could buy a girl back then, like girls talking about they need a man to make $100,000. If you could buy a pizza, if you had enough money. I don't see her for 2 or 3 weeks. We talk every day in 2 weeks. I meet that girl 2 weeks later. She motherfucking 6'3". She said, "Wait a minute, you short?" I was like, "Yep." She love me now.
She love you now.
Too late. She's like, "God damn, Rodney Perry, you got me." Yes, I did. And we had a good little thing for a minute.
Yeah.
Good times though. New Orleans was good times.
Yeah.
New Orleans was good times. And the comedy scene was dope. Like back then, Dr. Ken John, who played in the Hangover movie, the Asian kid, he was out there with us.
Oh wow.
My buddy Harry Ratchford, who currently writes for Kevin Hart, he was my roommate.
Oh wow.
And so the stuff Harry does for Kevin, he did for me.
That's crazy.
We just spent time together. We were just together every day. He would go, "Rodney, what you think of this joke?" I'm like, "That's funny. Where'd you get that from?" He's like, "You said that 3 weeks ago." He was always good at recording what we was doing, how we was living.
Gotcha.
So it comes time to leave New Orleans. It's 94, approaching 95, 94-ish. Time to leave. Harry leave first. He take orders to the Bay Area. I said, "Nigga, I'm coming too." So I take orders to the Bay Area. This is how stupid I am, though. I think I'm close to L.A. Nigga, I don't know the geography. I'm a fucking idiot. I go to the Bay Area, and I say it's close, right? I look on the map, and it's a half inch away.
Right.
I ain't looked at the legend, nigga. Right. Legend, the 5 hours nigga, drive, 6 hour drive. So I get to the Bay Area. Bay Area is where I meet people like Bo P, Pierre for the first time back in the day. So many, all the comics from LA would come to the Bay and work. And so I remember meeting Bo, and Bo my OG. Because Bo was already working.
Right.
I mean, I talked to him about this before. He was already working. So it was just a good time, man. And comedy, Katt Williams was right there. Lunell was right there. You know, our talent pool has really kind of grew up in a good way in comedy. And so it was so many of us in that talent pool. And that's 94 to 98, really having that maturation process.
Gotcha.
You know, and in 1998, I pack up and move my family to LA.
Okay. So let me ask you this question, because we kind of skated around a little bit. But what actually led you to comedy? I mean, like, what was like the first time you hit a stage?
So the very first time I hit the stage, so I don't know if you remember, like back in the day, it would be like Barbizon, and they would be like, they would set up in malls, and they would tell you was a model or something like that. And this particular time they had like, you know, if you did other things, you could perform.
Okay.
And so I saved my little $500 up, and I don't know what a tape is, but my mother let me save my money up and pay my money and get in this little talent showcase where I could showcase, and I did comedy. And that's one of the first times I ever went on stage. And while I'm in college, I will perform at Northeast, my college campus. My home girl was in the nursing field, and so they would do those shows at the nursing building. And that was like some of my first times on stage. Actually, for real, like coffee shops and working out. It was then. It was much before that I would get to the Navy.
Okay.
The Navy is the first time I quit.
Okay.
I've only quit comedy once.
All right.
So I get to New Orleans, and I'm like, let me go find a stage. I'm good at finding a stage. I found a stage. It was a gong show. Mr. Angelo. I go to this motherfucking gong show. These niggas gong the fuck out of me. I seen a nigga stand up. I was like, what the nigga about to do? That nigga pick up a stick and just go gong. And nigga, I was so shell-shocked, I went inside the bar. And then another nigga comes sit next to me. Hey, nigga, you still here? Nigga, we gone. You gotta leave, nigga. I was like, God damn, man. And so that night I quit.
Right.
I said, man, fuck this comedy shit. This shit ain't for me.
Yeah.
And the next day I met Harry Ratchford.
Wow.
Harry Ratchford, my guy, my best friend, he writes for Kevin now. So Harry's playing dominoes in our barracks, which we play dominoes all day, every day. We playing dominoes in the barracks. Harry talking shit. He playing this dominoes against this guy named PW. He was a Marine. Harry playing dominoes, PW talking shit. Eating his ass up, eating Harry up. Harry said, hold on, nigga. He got quiet, the whole room got quiet. He said, nigga, if I was your dentist, I'd just throw a cherry bomb in your mouth and say, fuck it. The place exploded. And I was like, nigga, you a comedian.
Right.
I told him, I said, you a comedian.
Right.
He said, man, I ain't no comedian. I said, you a comedian. I know comedian when I see one. You a motherfucking comedian. He said, man, I ain't no comedian. I said, you a comedian, man. You should get on stage and start telling jokes. He said, man, I'd get on stage, but if you come with me, and me and Harry became a team. Like this is Rodney Lord, nobody really talk about. Me and Harry, Ratchet Rod, we became a team for like about 5 years.
Wow.
You know, we became a team until we got tired of splitting the money. Still.
Wow,
one
that's
of my best friends in
crazy.
the world.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, do you remember the moment where you was on stage, whether you were on there or when you got off, when you realized, man, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do.
The moment seeing Eddie Murphy was a moment.
Okay.
On Saturday Night Live, because I would go on the weekends to my cousin's house, we talked about earlier, and we would bowl Saturday morning, and I would stay over there, spend the night over their house Saturday evening. And so we watched Saturday Night Live, and I saw Eddie Murphy. He was doing Velvet Jones. And that nigga said, I don't know, Your Honor. The bitch is ugly. And I said, yo, what the fuck was that? That's me.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I had Richard Pryor as a reference point, but Eddie Murphy gave me a picture of what it was to be a comedian. And that was the beginning for me. And then, of course, later on, you have the OG. My OG in New Orleans was a guy named Wayne Robertson. He would drink Grand Marnier on stage. You know, we got to see Cheryl Underwood and Hope Flood and them come through town early in their careers where they would come and do comedy. And so I got to see them very early on. And so New Orleans didn't really have a comedy scene, but it was enough.
Okay.
We could kind of figure it out.
Okay.
And so we had the OG and Wayne Robertson that would give us the game. And then it was people like that would come through town, Cheryl Underwood and Hope Flood and those guys would come through town. Melanie Camacho would even come through back then. It was like being in college, comedy college. So to speak, yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
good way to put it. So now you starting to do this comedy on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, I'm serious now.
Now you're serious about it. What was the first television break that you got?
Your life ain't real till they see you on the Apollo. Like, well, I take that back. Well, Apollo, no, absolutely Apollo. Apollo first.
Okay.
So, the guy's name he's still alive. So, what's his name? What's the white boy everybody love? Bill Burr.
Okay.
Bill Burr's wife's father used to book the Apollo. Ben Hill. Ben Hill used to book the Apollo.
Okay.
And so Ben Hill would pop up in a club randomly, and you would get a call out of blue, and you was going to the Apollo. And it wasn't amateur night, you was booked on the show. But you can still catch it. Let me tell you something. Angelo, them niggas will be warming up to boo your ass. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, boo. Them niggas will be outside practicing. This is what I'm gonna do, nigga. Boo! So I didn't get booed on the Apollo, but nigga, I was close.
Yeah.
Like, niggas think they don't bomb because they don't bomb. But just because you got off before it happened, your ass still failed.
Okay.
And so, but that show made it real for my friends and family. When they see me on the Apollo, when I walked out on that stage, they were like, nigga, you serious? My cousins, nigga said I wasn't never funny. My cousin was like, nigga, you was on the Apollo, nigga.
Wow.
You gone. You rich, nigga. Give me some money. So that was the beginning. And then Comic View became that thing for me. So my first year on Comic View, I do Comic View, and the producers of the show that season was dropping your sound out and playing the crickets. Like literally, they would drop your sound out and put
Wow.
the fucking crickets. It was devastating.
Yeah.
So I got my family huddled around little TV, and then what she having? My grandmother say, well, maybe it ain't for you, baby. Yo. So I go to LA. This young lady named Kathy Westfield, she got the crickets too. She came to me, she said, Rodney Perry, man, fuck BET, man, we suing them niggas. I said, yeah, fuck them niggas. Yeah, we suing them niggas. And my wife was like, no, you're not. My wife is so gangster. She was like, we are not suing them niggas. You don't know when you want to work with them again. We not suing them people. The mistake I made as a man is I never went back to Kathy and said, sis, I'm not doing this shit.
Okay.
I just ducked the bitch. And so she was mad at me. She called me all type of punk ass bitches a long time.
Yeah.
And I was.
Yeah.
I was a punk ass bitch. And ultimately, later on, I worked for BET again years later. But, you know, I shouldn't have ghosted her. I should have just
Told her what was up.
been a man. I should have been a man. But that was a life lesson for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what was it like for you going back? At what point and what was it like when you first performed in Chicago?
Wow.
When you went back home?
Yeah. So by now I'm getting some notoriety.
Okay.
The Chicago comics don't know me. So I got famous outside of Chicago.
Okay.
So I'm starting to do TV shows. I'm on Comedy on this, and ladies and gentlemen, for Chicago Perry, Rodney Perry, from Chicago, Illinois, Rodney Perry. And so niggas was really not fucking with me. You know, the niggas didn't know I knew, but I knew.
Right.
Niggas was not fucking with Rodney Perry. They fuck that nigga. That nigga ain't from here. And I'm like, nigga, I'm over from Chicago than you, nigga. I grew up on 126th State, nigga. I was right there in the shit, for real. Nigga, I got family on 55th and Garfield Boulevard. What, nigga, I'm Chicago all day, nigga. White Castle and Polar Sausage, nigga, I'm Chicago. So, time heals all that, though.
Okay.
The more you show and prove, you know, and then they find out, oh, this nigga is funny. Oh, he one of us. And so now, many years later, 30 years in the game, Chicago respect me. You know, at the end of the day, that's all we're working for, is respect. That's all you working for at the end of the day. Of course you want to sell tickets. Of course you want to, sell out shows. But for your peers to respect you is something you can't put a dollar value on.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now we hit Chicago.
Yeah.
We're starting to do things. Tell us a little bit about your health scare when life kind of changed for you.
Well, that's many years later.
Right.
And I don't want to talk about Chicago without saying Mary Lindsay.
Talk to me.
Mary Lindsay, and so you always hear about, all jokes aside, which was, the Bernie Mac era of Chicago, Robin Harris era. But after that, Mary Lindsay opened her club up, and her club was the spot where you can go into town and make some money.
Okay.
And she really ran a tight ship. And so shouts out to Mary Lindsay and the club that she cultivated right there in Chicago. But, fast forward, I get diagnosed with high blood pressure, hypertension, probably 2011 or so. So I started taking the medication. The shit my libido immediately takes a hit. I'm going from erection to nothing. I'm like, what I'm not gonna do is be motherfucking Mr. Softy in my house. I got to keep fucking. So I stopped taking the medication.
Okay.
The worst thing I could ever have done is not take my medication. And I had a run. I had probably an 8 or 9 year run where it didn't affect me.
Okay.
And then I'm on the road, Denver, Colorado, probably 8 or 9 years later. I ain't taking the medication. My blood pressure's through the roof. I'm on the road, Denver, Colorado. I'm talking to my buddy Joey Wells, who also writes for Kevin. I'm talking to Joey. Joey is telling me about our friend Mickey, who just had a stroke. And as he was telling me about Mickey, all the stuff that happened to her, I felt at that moment. I'm like, I feel like that right now.
Oh, wow.
And my good friend Hank Denson, who was, working in the medical field, Hank said, Rodney, go get your blood pressure checked. I dragged myself, put my clothes on, dragged myself to the Walmart across the street. I could see the Walmart from my hotel room. I went to Walmart and I stuck my arm in the sleeve of the blood pressure cuff in Walmart, and my blood pressure was 221 over 140.
Good Lord.
Little lady walked past, she said, good, ooh, baby. Baby, your pressure high. I should have went to the hospital at that moment. But I'm still trying to perform. I still got to make my money for the night. And I'm thinking like that. I'm like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die on stage tonight. I had that real thought. So I do 2 shows Friday night, pack my stuff up. My brother takes me to the VA, to the emergency room. I walk into the VA, and I don't walk out.
Wow.
I had the stroke. If you're going to have a stroke at the hospital.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I walk in, but I don't walk out. My left side was affected. My left arm became contorted, and I couldn't walk. So they got me situated, got me stable, and I spent the next 45 days learning how to walk again, learning how to use my left side again. And so I went through a rigorous, and my wife and I decided to stay in Denver.
Okay.
Because I could have came back home and done my rehab here. But at that time, the Denver VA facility was #1 in rehab facility, #1 rehab city in the VA system.
Okay.
And so we stayed, and nobody had access to me. Nobody could get to me. Nobody could come see me. Bill Bellamy came. Ali Sadiq came. Who else came? A few people. Rodney Jordan came through. While they were at Denver at the Improv, they would come see me. So many good folks called me, and you know what it was like, Angelo? It was like dying and getting a chance to watch what people thought about you.
Wow.
I was sitting in there. I was sitting in the hospital and watch people tell stories, post pictures. I could see it all. Rodney Perry once said this to me. Rodney Perry once said that to me. Most times you gone when that conversation. I got the chance to watch that shit real time, and so I had no idea whether I'd be ever able to stand on stage again. I didn't know at that point. I didn't know, and so we fought, man. And I questioned God. I said, God, why me? And God said, well, why not you, nigga? Why not you tell a story? I'm gonna put you back on that stage. Now you got to tell a story.
Yeah, you got to tell that story.
And so that's what I've been doing for the last few years. I got back home, I wrote a book. My book is called Rodney Perry Moments on My Journey. I wanted my kids to be able to read my story. If I ever lost my mind, I want them to be able to read about their daddy. But then that book became a one-man show that I did last year, and I'm gonna bring the one-man show back later on this year. But I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to keep working, man.
Yeah.
One foot in front of the other.
What was it like for you when you went back on stage for the first time after that stroke?
I had no short-term memory. No, I'm sorry. I had no long-term memory.
Okay.
Like when I first went on stage, on your stage, on Marietta Street, I walked on the stage. I couldn't remember no jokes. Nothing that I ever said years ago. I couldn't remember none of that. But I can remember the moment. I can remember what happened at the hospital. I can remember that stuff, and that became my material.
Gotcha.
You know, but the hard part, and then my physicality changed.
Yeah.
You know, my young Rodney is everywhere, and so I can do a set now without moving. Like I used to sweat through a suit every show, and so now I can sit. I learned, the stroke taught me how to be way more focused with my energy.
Okay.
And so I if I move 5 or 6 times during the course of a set, that's a lot for me now.
Yeah. So Rodney, you've done a whole lot of things, man. So is it more fun for you to be on the TV set or the movie screen?
Stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up is everything.
Well, between those two though.
Oh, I like movies. I like movies. Cause I like the temporary nature of it. Like I like to go work. Cause you know I ain't never worked. I ain't had a regular job, nigga, since 1998. I left working 1998. I got out the Navy. I haven't worked a regular job since then. So TV feel like regular working.
Okay.
You gotta show up every day, 9 o'clock. You know, I used to write for Steve Harvey. Them niggas want you to come work 8 o'clock. Steve ain't there to 10.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck we here so early for, man? I gotta be in traffic with regular niggas. I don't like that. I don't want no regular job, nigga. And so TV feel like regular work.
Yeah.
You know, even Monique Show, we was fucking in there. We was working all day, every day. And so it's more like, I don't know. I like movies. I like movies. I don't mind the long hours. I don't mind that. But you know it's gonna be over in 3 months.
Yeah.
4 months.
Yeah.
At the longest. At the absolute longest. So I like movies.
How much of your movie TV career did your mom, I don't know when she passed, how much of it did she get to enjoy?
She got to see me in Medea's Big Happy Family. She got to see me in Johnson Family Vacation. Okay. She got to see me in some big stuff. She don't know nothing about my Tubi career.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, nigga. I'm a Tubi juggernaut right now. Nigga, last year when them niggas was on strike, I was on Tubi, nigga. The rest of these niggas out here striking, I was like, fuck that. I'm going to get my Tubi on. I got 5 Tubi movies that ain't came out yet.
Wow.
Some really dope movies too. So, you know, I tell actors act. When you're trying to figure out what to do, go act somewhere. So what I realized as a comedian when I was in LA, I saw all the dudes that was really working was also comedians that was working was also actors. And so I began to focus. Tasha Smith, who is one of those acting coaches now, and you see her acting and directing everything. But Tasha gave me the game as a comedian. What was going to be expected of me as a comedian that act? She gave me that game early on, and I've been using her skill set since then.
Is that what kind of made you start giving back? Because you do a lot of classes yourself. And what led to doing stuff like that?
Well, I knew I didn't want to teach stand-up.
Okay.
Because people that take stand-up classes is wishy-washy to me. But I felt like improv is, my class is an improv workshop. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to give people some skills that they couldn't get everywhere else. And more than improv, it's really a motivation piece. You know, it's really help people get out of their own way. Okay. That's what the class is really about. But we wrap it in improv. You know, I think you either funny or you not. So David Arnold, who is my friend, he had a stand-up workshop. And I used to tell him all the time, why are you flooding the game with all these whack-ass comics? He said, no, Rodney, what if somebody would have gave you the one nugget you needed to speed up your career by 5 years? I was like, wow, that changed everything. He said, it changed everything. And that's what he did, you know, before he passed away. But that's why I chose to kind of give back that way. Gotcha. And Jesse Brown told me years ago, he said, Rodney, comics only want the game. That's all they want. They don't want no money. They don't want to go on the road with you. give them some game, and they appreciate you all over. So I'm hard pressed to find somebody that don't fuck with Rodney Perry because I done gave him some game some kind of way somewhere.
Right. That's true. Yeah. That's true. Don't hear nothing bad about it. Just facts.
I'm an asshole sometimes.
So you've been in a lot of stuff. As we all know. But tell me what it was like, man, to be on a movie set with a legend like Eddie Murphy.
Wow. Great question, man. The reason I do stand up, Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. So the movie, when I got the audition, the movie was called The Quest. Mm. The audition was like, my agent said, you got to audition for The Quest. I'm like, cool, all right. So I go in, I read for The Quest. Every black actor in Atlanta at the time was in that bitch. Mm. It's one of the few times in the last 7-8 years that we actually had physical auditions. Mm. So I went in and I auditioned. It ain't but a few lines. And to be honest, I don't know why they picked me. I mean, I did good, but it wasn't but 2 or 3 lines. I mean, what can you tell about a nigga? But I think we was the right size. You know, it's a lot of things that go into picking a person. Mm-hmm. You could be the right height. You could be the right look. You know, Leslie was the lead. They knew that. They knew her family. They built her family. So Rodney Perry got the call. So I go in and audition, and I go home. Remember, the name of the movie is The Quest. Right. It ain't Coming to America too. It's The Quest. I read the shit. You can't read nothing in the lines that say this is Coming to America. Ain't nothing give you a tip. So about a week go past, my agent called me. She said, Rodney, nigga, you booked The Quest. Mm. I said, all right, when it worked. She said, you ain't excited? I said, yeah, I'm excited. Well, you know, it's just a movie. I'm when this shit work. She said, nigga, do you know The Quest is Coming to America too? Mm. Eddie Murphy, nigga. Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Wow.
Arsenio Hall, Coming to America too. You in it.
Wow.
I walked upstairs. I'm sitting in the basement, in my basement. I walk upstairs. My wife is in the house. We ain't never in the house by ourselves because there's always somebody in the house. Nobody there. Me and my wife. My wife was doing something at the oven. No, she was washing dishes. I said, baby, I just booked a movie. She said, okay. I said, it's Coming to America too. She turned around and looked at me, and we cried.
Wow.
Cried like a baby. You know, and my career's been like that. Every time I need the one little thing to keep going, I get it. You know, whether it's when I book Medea's Big Happy Family, that was a decade after Johnson Family Vacation.
Right.
You know, with Sid and Steve, that was 10 years later.
Right.
I booked that movie, and that movie was right on time, and it keep me relevant. Keep me relevant. So all that stuff matters, man. And then Eddie Murphy comes almost 10 years after that.
That's crazy.
And so, you know, it's been a great run, man. You know, I tell people my career is one of one. Like, it's not a whole lot of people got the same journey I got. You know, because to be relevant 30 years later,
yeah, to
have people want to come see you, you know, you be able to come to a club like the Uptown Comedy Corner or wherever in America, you know, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
I don't take that lightly. And right now, like, I feel myself turning the corner. Like before the pandemic, I felt like I was right there. I was right there. My tickets was moving, and my social media was picking up. All that was happening, and then the fucking pandemic happened. Fucking hit my ass in the face. Bam! And now I feel like I'm there again.
Okay.
So it's been a good journey, man. I wouldn't trade it 1 minute.
Yeah.
They say if you change anything, you change everything. I wouldn't do nothing over.
Nothing. That's what's up.
Nothing.
So, the movies, the TV, stand up all over. What's still on Rodney Perry's to-do list that he still hasn't did that he really wants to do?
That's a great question. You know what, Angelo, to be honest, man, I'm respected as I've always wanted to be. If I had to pick one thing that I'm still kind of missing, I mean, I want the world to know.
Okay.
I want the world to know, you know, and I saw it happen. I saw it happen with my buddy David Arnold. I saw it happen with Kevin. I saw it happen with Katt. I was standing right there for each one of those guys and saw what it looked like. I'm of a go, and I want to go, you know. But you know, if I had to be honest with myself about anything, and your audience can take this, if you don't remember nothing else I said, don't forget to ask for it. Don't forget to ask for what you want. Like you think God just granting shit? You gotta ask him. You gotta ask God, hey God, by the way, nigga, I wanna affect the world. I want the world to laugh at my jokes. I want the world to come and fill up comedy clubs for me and fill up theaters and arenas for me. You gotta ask for that. And I've only asked for that recently. You know, because I wanted to keep my family too.
Gotcha.
I wanted to be there for my children's birthdays and stuff, which I miss a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
I miss a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter had sweet 16, and you know they murmuring around the house and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck the murmuring about? And my wife was like, well, Michelle don't know she wants you to come. Why not? Am I not paying for the shit? She's like, well, you know, when you there, everything become about you. You're right. So I had to learn how to step back and let my kids shine.
Okay.
And not be Rodney Perry.
Okay.
Just be daddy behind the camera.
Gotcha.
And so I had to learn that. That was a life lesson, you know, on this run.
That's what's up. So 2 questions. Number 1, I can't let you leave without asking you your thoughts about the Katt Williams controversy. Especially since you know everybody.
I do.
But what was your thoughts? Not
Here goes, guys. So and I've been around Katt for probably 20 years. I mean, we aren't nowhere near as close as we were at one point. And to be honest, I don't even know what happened. You know, Katt be beef with you. You don't know he beef with you. He proved that with the conversation. He mad at Cedric for a joke he stole in '98.
right.
Hold on, I did this joke in '90. Here it goes, right here, 1998. I'm like, are you serious, nigga? '98. But I guess, you know, I also understand that it never gets old when it hurts your feelings. When it's somebody you respect.
Okay.
It's never too old to mention it. And so I get what he was saying, but at the same time, like, what if the fact that said, if you're saying he stole a joke, what if the fact that he stole a joke is the reason you blew up? Do you do it over now? What if it don't happen, if that don't happen? If you change anything, you change everything.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, I get it. I get it. And I also think on some level that whether it's Katt or Corey Holcomb, Katt is trying to get clicks. You can't tell me everything you said, you ain't had to throw Earthquake under the bus.
Right.
He a good guy.
Right.
What the fuck, whether he can read or not, have to do with you at that moment?
Right.
That's a good nigga, man.
Right.
You ain't had to do that to him, bro. You know, but you know, it's neither here nor there. But also, you got to understand something too. Cats be out for other reasons, and I don't know if this is true or not. But like, I once read a book called 48 Laws of Power. One of the tenets of the 48 Laws of Power is garner attention at all costs. So if you know that, you can watch certain people, whenever they get kind of cool, they do something.
Gotcha.
Out of nowhere, said a nigga everybody love. You attack that nigga, the one nigga there everybody love. He told you, Katt told you during the interview with Shay. He said, man, I wrote a list. It was 30 people ahead of me. I made a point to catch them all. Katt competing against your ass, whether you like it or not.
Well, whether you like it or not, nigga.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay. So last question.
And he's a fucking genius. He don't have to.
He is indeed.
He don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
He don't have
Facts.
to. He's a fucking great ass comedian.
No doubt about it. So last question, Rod. I always do a top 5, man, to close it out. I do it on my Classic Conversations podcast. So, with that being said, man, give me your top 5 R&B singers of all time.
You with R&B on me? Oh, I thought the comedy shit at me.
I never do comedy with comedians.
Wow.
Top 5 R&B singers of all time. Your top 5.
I'm about to get to you.
Talk to me.
R&B, okay. I'm going to start with a woman.
All right.
I'm going to put Mary J. Blige on my top 5.
Okay.
And I'm going to be specific, too. Mary J., not when she happy. When somebody
When she
done
going
crushed
through
her
something.
spirit, Mary J. come out swinging, nigga, every time. When the nigga fucking crush her soul,
Right.
she about to give you 5 hits.
It's
Mary J.
facts.
Blige.
Okay.
Also, you know who I really fuck with? And just because I like the nigga. Case. Touch me, tease me. This nigga went through about a 20-year period where he had a hit every year.
Yeah.
Every other year, Case had a hit. Them wedding hits, hit, not hit it. He cold ass motherfucker.
All right.
Oh man, R&B, New Edition, motherfucking New Edition.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a super New Edition fan. So I'm doing the Tom Joyner cruise, and so the way the cruise work is the comics kind of host the big acts, and so Damon Williams, who is a Chicago legend, and he's also on the Tom Joyner show,
Right.
so he get to host the first night of New Edition. Well, nigga, I'm next. I'm next. They calling me tomorrow night. I'm gonna be hosting New Edition. I cannot wait. Nigga, I sit in my room all day. Angelo, them niggas do not call me.
Oh, wow.
I'm pissed. But I'm watching the concert in my room on the TV. I say, oh shit. I said, I'm a fan of these niggas. Ain't no way I'm gonna let these niggas perform in the same. I'm on the ship and I'm not gonna go see these niggas live.
Right.
Fuck that. They got their white jackets on, their black pants. I put my white jacket on
Uh-oh.
and my black pants, and I went and stood by the stage. We had all access. So I'm in my room. I walk on stage. Mike Vivens go, oh snap. Hey fellas, Rodney Perry nigga got our outfit on. Mike Vivens say, bring him up here.
What?
I go on stage. Mr. Angelo, when I tell you I fucking rock with New Edition for an hour,
Really?
nigga, New Edition, motherfucking all the shit, nigga. I was motherfucking getting it. It was fucking beautiful. I was the highlight of my life. It was like playing pickup game with Michael Jordan. It was
Right.
that dope. Motherfucking New Edition.
That's awesome.
That was crazy. And so I see the picture. And so New Edition is on my list. R&B.
2 more.
Oh, I got 2 more. I know one, but I'm trying to think of the other one.
Okay.
God dang it. Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson never let you down.
Never.
And the only one to come back from real narcotic abuse. Charlie was on the streets of LA and his woman find him and he been successful ever since.
That's true.
You know, who else come out of crack and can still sing better than everybody?
I can blow. Facts.
And finally,
Okay.
Southside Chicago. I know he done made some mistakes.
Hey.
Hurt people. Motherfucking Ara Kelly, though. Can't nobody fuck with this dude, man.
Yeah.
Say what you want to say. And you know, my daughters, you know, they boycott a motherfucker. Nah, daddy, he did some bad stuff. I say, I know, but that nigga marked time in my life. Nigga, she's got that motherfucking vibe. Little cuter Leah got it, nigga. He told us what he liked.
He did tell us.
God damn, Ara. I remember going to a club here in Atlanta. R. Kelly was like, nigga, you ain't gonna always have me. He said that on the stage that night.
Is that right?
A club date. And he was just singing stuff. The DJ was playing the songs and he was just singing live. And he said, nigga, y'all better motherfucking show me love because, nigga, you ain't gonna have me always. He was right. That nigga's currently singing in jail.
But the hits are the hits.
The hits are the hits.
And the hits are the hits.
Can't argue with that. And the history, man.
Yeah.
And how about this? The nigga went to jail. R. Kelly went to jail with no trial. He was in jail without a trial for like a year and a half.
True story.
What the fuck they do that in America?
Hey.
Don't get me started.
Bigger than that, wherever you seen a RICO, that only involved one person.
How the fuck he trafficking by his fucking self?
Hey, the only RICO charge I ever heard was only involving one person.
One nigga. Who he RICOing with?
RICO.
I've
never seen that before.
Man. They dropped some of those charges got dropped, but still, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he'll get free in our lifetime, but I don't know if he'll ever be the same again.
Yeah.
But he can still sing.
Yeah.
Keep the niggas up off of him.
Yeah. Keep up off of him. Hey, man, this has been an absolute joy to have this sit down at Uptown with Rodney Perry, man. It's been a lot of fun, man. It's everything I thought was going to be and more, man. I appreciate your time, brother. Appreciate you always coming to Uptown and rocking out with us, man. And we salute you, my brother.
It's an honor and a privilege to grace this stage, man. Thank you. And again, what I tell people all the time, ain't but a handful of black-owned comedy clubs in America.
Talk to him.
In America.
5 to be exact.
And it ain't really 5, because 1 or 2 of them gonna drop out.
Right.
And it's you that's got the longevity, the 20, 30-year longevity that's real, and that's gonna always keep guys booked. You know, I say to the elder statesmen, the people that's supposed to be the top of the game, buy some real estate, buy a comedy club. You got millions of dollars, you making $20 million a movie, and you don't own a chain of comedy clubs, or you not dumping some of your money into the Uptown. How dare you?
Or even just playing Uptown.
Nigga, just come. Give me a date.
Give me a date. 52 weeks.
Give me a date. Give me 1 week.
That's all we ask.
Come on, dog. At the very least.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, brother.
Let me tell you something. They better not give me no goddamn money. I don't motherfucking burn this. We gonna do some shit.
We're gonna do something, bro.
Goddamn right. Promise you that.
There it is. Hey, man, this has been a pleasure, man. This is the sit down at Uptown with the one and only Rodney Perry.
My man.
Appreciate you, sir. As he like that cigar.
Thank you, sir.
And we out.
Sit down at Uptown. I like that. This is nice, man.
Appreciate it, man.
What is it, velvet?
This is velvet?
What is it?